Hey there, everyone. My name is Chesley. Yes, and my name is Karen, and this is Wholesome Communication, and this is our Sunday afternoon story, our Sunday afternoon Bible story. Is he going to be about Jesus risen? Well, this is Easter Sunday, and we know that he is the reason that we do have salvation. He rose from the dead, but that is not going to be our story today. We get a new one. Oh, just a minute. Are my strings working? Yes, your strings are working. And can I flirt? Yes, your everything is working where you can flirt. And I'm going to get to sing. Well, you'll probably sing before it's over with, but let's just tell a little bit about what our story is going to be about today. Oh, it's going to be about an army. We're going to talk about an army. That's correct, Chesley. This is a story that is very fascinating. And it's scary. Well, yes, it was really scary for the servant. I mean, it was really something. But anyway, Chesley. Oh, the time to the happy is now, and the place to the happy is here, and the way to the happy is to make us happy, and you'll have a lot of happy down here. That's right. The time to be happy is now. The place to be happy is here, wherever a person might be. It's not here looking good. Well, we might want to pull it just a little bit. I think it's my wig. Yes, your wig just kind of gives us a little problem sometimes. I think you need to glue it. Well, we probably do need to glue it. Don't take it off because I don't want to be bald-headed. Well, you're not going to be bald-headed. We'll make sure we get it glued on. But anyway, Chesley, in this story today, there was this king, and he was getting all of his army, his chief fellows together to see about about the battle. They were going out to battle. He said, we've got to get those Israelites. They were against them. And that's God's people. He dare not do it. It's a very dangerous thing to do what he was doing. But he made his plans, and you know what God did? I don't know what he did. What did he do? Was it a secret? Well, it was unknown to anybody except Elisha, the prophet of God. And God told him where this Syrian where this king was. He told him where they was encamped. And so God knew what he was doing. He knows everything that he was doing. And so he told it to Elisha, and Elisha made sure he told the king of Israel, this is where the army is. Well, they checked it out, and sure enough, that's just like God. He's right. He was right. You didn't have to go check it out, but they did, and sure enough, so they were there. So they said, well, that's not where we're going to just sit here and we're going to do what exactly. We're going to wait until Elisha tells us. And so God was using him to kind of be like a point man. Well, he might have been like the point man, but he was in tune with God, and they listened to what he said because God was with him, guiding him. Well, when this Assyrian king found out, he was so angry. He said, somebody here is a spy. Oh, he thought one of these guys was listening, and he was cheating, and he was running and telling the king of Israel. Oh, man, he's going to kill him. If he only knew who it was. He said, somebody here is not faithful to me. Somebody here is a crook. He was a traitor. There was a traitor. And if he found out who it was, he was going to kill him. He probably would have killed him. And one of the men spoke up and said, King, guess what? It's none of us. Nobody. He said, yes, it is. Who is it? Is it you? And that man, no, it's not me. It's not. But you got to understand. Well, I want to know who is it. No, he demanded to know. What do you mean nobody here is? How could he possibly know? He says, that's what I want to tell you. It's the prophet Elisha. God tells him, their God tells him, and he tells the king, oh, I tell you what, that was just, he didn't know what in the world he was going to do. What happened? Here was Elisha, the prophet, and I mean that king of Syria, he sent word. He said, fellas, you tell me, where is this guy? Where is this Elisha, this prophet that knows these things? He's down in Dothan. He's down in a place called Dothan. And he said, well, we're going to get him. We're going to get him. He's the man. And then he said, you're going to try to kill him? I don't know what his plans were, but I tell you what, it was really one of those things that would be very frightening to me if I knew the whole army was after him. Well, then army was after that one little guy because he was so important. He was in tune with God, and everything God said to do, he did it, whether it was risky or not. He just spoke the truth. But what was really something here, that he was in serious trouble, and he didn't even know it. Well, he knew he was probably in trouble, but he just put his faith and trust in God, and he had confidence that God was going to help him. And what if he's going to die? Well, if it was time to go, it was time to go. But until it was time, God was finished with him, he was going to protect him and continue giving him work to do. Well, so what happens? So that night, while they were asleep, they didn't know that things were happening. Well, early the next morning, his servant went out. Elisha's servant went out, like every morning, to check things out. And then what happened? What did he see? He saw something. Yes, he did. He looked. He was shocked. He went racing back in, and he said, "Oh, master, my master!" He said, "We are surrounded." What do you mean surrounded? Then aren't they surrounded? Why? He said, "They know where you are now." And he said, "We're in really deep trouble." Well, there was all the way around them, and there was horses, there was chariots, and all these soldiers to come after that one little guy. It was going to take probably a whole army. He was going to make sure he got this man. Oh, this servant was terrified. He said, "We don't have a chance. We're just sunk. We're dead." That's what he thought. There's not a way out of this. Two of us, and there's this. It's impossible. Elisha didn't get shook up. Was he saying, "What's wrong with you?" Or was he just in shock? No, he wasn't in shock. He looked at his servant, and he said the most amazing thing. What did he tell him? What was it? He's prayed, and he said, "God," he said, "open his eyes that he may see." Well, see what? He already saw it. He was surrounded by that army. Well, what he didn't know was what Elisha knew. And when that man looked out, now God had opened his eyes and he could see. And what did he see? He saw an army. He saw these chariots. He was like an army, like a fire. I mean, he knew he was full of power. It was a spiritual thing. You couldn't see it just in the natural, but he let him see, and they were surrounded by a heavenly host that was helping them. A heavenly army with firepower that these people here couldn't even compare with. And so then what they're going to do, just light them out? They're going to kill them? That's not what they did. That was not the idea that Elisha had. And as the army here of Israel, the way they were looking at it, they could say, "Why don't we just," and so now we're just going to kill all these people and all. And Elisha said, "I'll tell you what," and so he asked the Lord, he said, "Lord, I ask you to blind this army." And they said, "Blind? Oh, it's so mean." Well, it might have sounded mean, but it's not finished yet. And so these people were blind, this whole army. They couldn't hurt anything. They couldn't hurt anything. They were just now dependent on Elisha. And what's he going to do? He can kill him. He can tell the king there, Israel, to kill him. But he didn't, as the kings thought that's what he would do. And he said no. And instead they led them into Samaria. They led them into the country where they didn't intend to go. And then he said, "Well, let's kill them." "No, we don't kill them." He said, "Well, we're going to feed them." "Feed them?" Yes, he said, "We're going to feed them." They said, "There's no need to kill them. Let's feed them." So they did. And so they got the cooks to go. So the cooks had to get busy and get everything ready. And they fed them. The Bible talked about it being a really good feast. And so those people were led away. They didn't want to come back anymore. And the marauding bands weren't anxious to come back any place around here because they saw that God was fighting for them. When God is for you, you just can't lose. And if you don't have him, you just can't win. Jessie, I'm so glad that Elisha listened to God. And I'm glad that servant listened too. I'm glad he, instead of trying to run away and do whatever all by himself, he'd have gotten himself killed. He very likely would have got himself killed. But he listened. He got to see a great miracle and see how powerful God was. And he's the great and mighty God. Oh, God is a great and he is a great and mighty God, and we get to serve him. And we also get to put you to bed. He's always happens this way, just when we're getting into the story and we can tell a new one. No, we're not going to tell a new one. We could tell that Jesus rise and turn the dead. We could do that, but we're not. There may be another time, but we'll have story time next Sunday afternoon. But right now, it's your time to go to bed. I think it is so cruel of you. I'm such a sweet little kid. Chesley, I know you're a sweet little kid. I don't doubt that one bit. But you do need to go to bed. So you tell everybody goodbye. I don't see what's so good at it and good time when I'm being stuffed in the trunk of that termite. Oh, here you go, talking about a termite. No termite in there. Have you looked in there? Chesley, I've looked. There's not one. Goodbye. Tell everybody goodbye, and you'll see them next time. Goodbye. I don't think it's very fun to get stuffed in a trunk. I think it's wicked and cruel. And then I'm going to call the child services. No, you're not calling child services. We'll see you next time. Goodbye to everybody. I don't want to go to bed. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Chesley, you're fine. You're going to be fine. We'll see you next time. Goodbye. I want out. I want out. I want